It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
And if this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Don't have any quotes today. I just feel good. I hope everyone is doing the same, feeling good themselves, and just had a productive day. And if you're on the other side of the world and your day is just starting, I hope you have a great day.
I look forward to the inspirational quotes or words of wisdom, but that is positivity, and we always can use some positivity. You can never get enough of that. It's Wednesday. I'm ready to rock and roll and jump into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. It's been on my mind lately, and we talk about it a lot, but just to put a title on it, quality versus quantity. Sometimes people feel like just because you're doing a lot and you're getting a lot done, but that's not the case. You may sacrifice the quality of time spent, product that you put out. Just overall, it's oversaturation of something. It's like, this is not good. I don't want to go too much into it because I know I tend to get lengthy sometimes, and I want to leave something for you. Not that it's timed, but just to give you an idea of, where I'm going with it. Whether it's the quality of you spending time in a relationship, the quality of work you provide, the quality of you as a person. What do people get when they encounter you? If someone was to say, whether it was a stranger, a supervisor, coworker, family member, is it more so I see you a lot, but sometimes I wish I didn't because the experience overall itself is just a bit much. Things like that. I'm sure you kind of get where I'm going with this, Lou, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you. What are your thoughts about quality versus quantity?
I believe the older you get, the more quality means more to you than quantity. I can keep it as simple as having relationships with girls or young women. Most men think it's a great thing to have a whole bunch of women that they interacting with or talking to. And it's like at the end of the day, you're talking to all of them because you can't find one that has all the qualities that you're looking for. So you end up talking to several to appease whatever it is that you're looking for. And it seems cool at the beginning, but then you get old and you start realizing, man, I'm wasting a lot of time doing this. If I sit down and really just figure out what it is that I like around me, then I'll just start searching for that one person, and eventually I can just invest all my time in that person, and voila, quality. And you only have to appease one person, and vice versa. You can jump over into music. I've battled with, oh man, I gotta grow my catalog. I have to have over 100 songs a year. I'm really exaggerating, people, but it seems like, oh, music is coming out so fast, and I've only had 7 songs come out in the last year. So how do I keep up with that? And overall, when you really sit down and you listen to the content of some of this music, and I mean no disrespect to any artist, but some of it is not very good. And it could be better for that artist, but they might be going off the same blueprint that I'm over here losing my mind about. Somebody told them that they have to build some catalog in order for people to gravitate to them, when it's like, okay, well, how about you just sit down, take some time, and really put together a great project, and then push that project and market it and do as much as you can. Put it in front of as many people as possible via internet, performing, whatever, and let them digest that one, and then come out with another body of work if that's what you choose to do. Grow your fan base off that and allow them to really feel your authenticity, because I do feel like the more you try to stretch yourself, the less of them you get musically. But like I said, we can jump into all facets of life, and I'm here to say it took a while for me to realize that quantity is not everything. Even with money. I mean, you can have a whole bunch of money, but if you don't invest it in quality products or whatever it is that you're trying to do to try to grow it, it does no good to have a whole bunch of money. I've seen people with less do way more. I do believe there are some instances where quantity can maybe match quality, but I've never seen any instances where quantity defeats quality. I just never saw it. Another one I want to bring up, just to give you guys several examples. Think about your phones, your cars. Think about any product that we used to have back, let's say, the 90s, early 2000s. Remember that chirp phone you was talking about? You can drop it from the second floors and no scratches on it. With these iPhones, you can't even leave them in certain places without the battery melting or putting it on a charger a certain type of way without it burning up. And the reason being is because some of these companies are practicing the same thing we're talking about. Quantity over quality. They're so hell bent on having more of their product out that they're not taking as much time as some of the companies used to do back in the, I ain't gonna say back in the day, that sounds so old, but in previous years where they would really take their time and work out the kinks. I don't even buy new gaming systems until they've been out a year, because every time I hear somebody getting a new phone right when it comes out, or a gaming system, it always has some type of bug or it has a recall. And it's like, why am I spending $600 on something or $1,000 on a phone? And I know they haven't really figured out all the kinks out of it, and you end up having to take it back and getting something else or replacing it 6 months down the line. And even though you can do it, it's a headache. That's time wasted. So quality is super important to me. I believe in my heart of hearts it always has been. I just didn't understand how important it was.
You said something about quantity usually doesn't win, and I agree with that, but I equate quantity to the masses. Like McDonald's are everywhere, Burger King's everywhere, Jack in the Box is everywhere, and we got to drive a little ways to an In-N-Out. Or you want to get fish and bone, you start getting fresh fish and quality of it.
That's a great example, McDonald's.
If you're looking at it, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, it looks like quantity, more of the phones, because people are still buying them. That's why they're making it. There's a demand for it. But I do believe if you begin to examine all the areas of your life and you start to really just think about it and make a decision, do I want to focus more on the quality of life I had and the experience people have with me, work I put out, the quality of me really putting my energy in my passion and my purpose? Or is it more about, I'll just make sure I'm doing everything, even if I'm tired, even if I say we're going to hang out and, I see you all the time, so I'll just keep making sure as you see me, I don't have to really put too much and I see you every day. You see that in relationships sometimes. And they always say it's the woman, but I'm sure there are men that feel this way. Like, just because we see each other all the time, that's not the quality of us interacting. Because I wake up next to you, we hang out or run errands and all that stuff, and we always have our relationship under a microscope, or we're constantly checking in with each other because Lou and I work together, create together. We're able to work from home, and then if it's some errands, it's like, oh, when you get off work, let's go ahead and run the errands together. We'll go where you gotta go. But even though we're doing all of that, that's still not, and we've touched on this in other podcasts, that's still not watering areas of attending to other parts of our relationship. Do we make time to enjoy each other's company in a different capacity? Because we enjoy working together, but it may be, having a meal together or relaxing. We're not focused. We got to get this task completed, watching a movie, just different things like that in respect to relationships. But just, hold yourself accountable in the sense of really start thinking about, do I want to provide quality? Oh, is that more important? Or have I been? Not do I, have I been? Because you've been doing it. You are an experience. Somebody's experiencing you at work. Your family members experience you as brother, sister, cousin, whatever the relationship is. Strangers experience us in these short interactions, every day. Your husband or your wife or your partner, they experience you in a capacity. So start thinking about, am I more of a quality person or a quantity person? Or what do you want to put more focus on? Because somebody may say something like, or somebody may think, I'm perfectly fine with the quantity. I really don't want to put time into coming up with something to do. Let's say you have a step parent or your parents are separated and you spending time with your children. And it's like, what do you guys do? We just meet up at the park. Dad always takes us to the park. Or mom always feeds us. We run errands. That's pretty much it. But like, what's the quality of it? Is this something that's really memorable or they want to really be a part of? The kids are really like the norm. It's not really a quality interaction.
Yeah. I never even realized it, but think about this. I feel like quality demands more work and effort than quantity.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're trying to give a quality effort or whatever it is that you're doing, it requires more effort as opposed to the quantity. Like,
It's work.
Yeah, if you can pick it up off the street and I'm just giving just a random example, you can see it on every corner, then it's not very much effort that needs to be put in that. Brilliant example. McDonald's in Houston, man, you can exit off any given exit and see a McDonald's or a Jack in the Box. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more health conscious, you're going to have to exit. You might have to go further into the neighborhood and find the restaurant. Yeah, it's a greater quality. But if you like, man, I'm trying to get back on the freeway and get home or whatever it is that you're doing, then guess what happens? Quantity wins. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I realized, the difference between quantity and quality.
I got an even better one because you honed in on McDonald's. The freaking movie we watched with Michael Keaton. I think it's called The Founder. Yeah, the whole story behind McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, in the end of that, quantity won over quality.
Yeah.
That was one of the brothers' issues about franchising. Was it McDowell's? No, I'm thinking of Coming to America. McDonald's, or was it something? It was McDowell's. It was the brother's last name.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just the brother's last names.
And then
McDonald's,
the arches.
and the arches belong to him. And then Michael Keaton or Ray Kroc, who he was playing, he bought the name and
right.
the franchise. Well, not the franchise, but he bought the business.
Well, okay, but if you guys haven't seen it, it's really a good
but
movie.
But your point was he turned it into a quantity thing.
Right. And the issue that the brothers were having is if we make powdered milkshakes versus fresh ice cream, or we don't take our time, the reason why our restaurant does so well and people are lining up around the corner, and of course Michael Keaton could see, wow, this is great. He was thinking about how to make it faster, more and more because of demand. But the brothers were like, we don't want to do that. We'd rather the line be long and we still can focus on the quality, and the experience, the cleanliness. Remember, he's like their McDonald's where it's dirty outside.
Yeah, you may not have so many.
So in that particular true story, quantity won over quality. So it's optional, whatever you want to focus on and whatever you're comfortable with, because we all going to take our dirt naps at some point. And I've seen every time with the older people that I've encountered, our advisors, because they have so much wisdom for those that are open to sharing, just even through life experience, even if it's not something that someone else may look at as wisdom. Everyone that I've encountered in my lifetime, as they've transitioned from being a kid, teenager, now they're older, it's just like, I really hope that I did this. I really wanted to do that. And it seems like they're focused more on quality of life, not all these different things running here and there. And they try to usually tell you, don't be here, do that. You could, do this, take your time. So yeah, that's interesting. But another thing I was thinking about, which is rolling right into the next conversation piece, is notoriety. And I kind of feel like those two tie in a sense, because it was random. When you guys were working out, we had the videos playing, and I was looking at an artist you had up, and he had a lot of weight on him. He had his shirt off, popular artist. And I thought about if a female, if it was reversed. Yeah, and she was out there with just like maybe a bralette or a sports bra, whatever, but belly out, everything. She wouldn't be able to do it the same way he does. And then I started thinking, but if he wasn't who he is, the notoriety that he has, he's able to pull it off without judgment. It's embraced. That's so-and-so. Even how we see some of the artists as they get to a certain level in their career, like J. Cole start growing his hair out. Crazy. And I'm not saying the hairstyle was crazy. I'm saying it wasn't like the clean cut.
Lined up.
Right.
Edge up.
Right. Jay-Z, his is out like that too. It may just be just a choice, but they're just things where I feel like if you aren't who you are, you cannot get away with that. You just can't do it. The hair, no, not happening. And I think that they're actually utilizing the notoriety they have. They're probably basking in it like, yes, I don't have to do this because I'm this person or that person. I went down a rabbit hole with it because I thought, wow, that's crazy. Sometimes, and I'm saying this as a woman, I have, when I was younger, and I know more do it now because it's kind of shoved down your throat with marketing and what you see and the perfect bodies, all these different things, the perfect hair, your skin, you have this bag, that bag, jewelry. You see so much of it. It can be overwhelming, but the options are different. And when I say that, I mean, all that stuff that's being shoved to a woman, I'm sure you're going to have it's not rebuttal, but you may think for a man, if he didn't have all that power, he's trying to get the power. I started thinking I would love to be able to do what he does. Not pushing on those people, but these are people right away that come to my mind. DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Oprah. Because I still feel like even as big as, and I'm going to throw her in there, Beyonce is, she still keeps this image as comparison to the other two guys. They hair growing out. If Beyonce started growing her hair out how Jay-Z's wearing his hair and was going to concerts doing them, or how J. Cole's wearing it and was on stage, I still think all the notoriety and platform, like, what are you doing? You can't get away with that. I think she would even be advised, like, this is what sells. This is what's worked for you thus far. You can't do that. It messes with the image people see. So notoriety has its advantages and disadvantages. And in me just kind of viewing that video the other day, I felt, I don't even want to say it was envious. I was like, wow, the freedom in you being able just to be like that. Having your hair crazy if you want to, not all this stuff based on what everyone else, simply because of the notoriety you have, you know?
Well, you're absolutely right about one thing. It definitely ties back into the word quality again, simply because it's not even a rebuttal. It's just a response to the things you said. I believe we already had a discussion, not similar to this, but kind of close, where I was saying that women were taught to be pretty, and that's how they get their notoriety from men and the attraction and whatnot. Men get notoriety through how much power they have and monetary gain. So while the Rick Rosses of the world, and it's funny you said that because Rick lost a ton of weight. He was talking to Shannon Sharp about how he lost weight because of the seizures and stuff that he was having. And it was like, yeah, what's the point of having all this money if I'm a drop dead from a seizure?
Right.
So he been getting his stuff in order for his work. Now he lost a ton of weight
because he decided to have a better quality of life. So that's why I said it's all tying back in.
Right. So,
but the option of him being able to have that shirt off was based on the power and the notoriety. Somebody else that didn't have that boss.
Well, him specifically, I can't speak for no one else. I mean, because I follow Rick Ross and I read his book. He's always had that confidence before the money. So some of them are exception to the rule. Like, I am who I am and I look good.
Right.
Money, no money.
Right.
But to your point of in general, where they may not have the confidence, I do agree. Men can get away with a ton of physical deficiencies. And I say deficiency because that's how the masses treat it. Like it's a deficiency that a woman has a little more weight on her body or something.
It's not a certain color.
Yeah, or they not
a certain way, or
right.
eyes or style.
Exactly. So you guys in the world, and I'm not going to put it on a specific person, but the masses, y'all are a bit hard on the women on certain things, and we know it. Guilty as charged when I was younger, but obviously growing up and learning, that's not what it's all about. That's all coming into maturity and again, quality. But I will say that it's a double-edged sword. I'm looking at it like maybe men are doing all the let me line my hair up and all this stuff, but what they really want to do is on some J. Cole shit and let their hair go. But they understand if they don't have the money, then nobody's gonna look at them twice. So it's like, well, I'll do it after I get my finances in order. So it's still a form of let me get something in order before I get the eyes on me. But like I said, it ties back into the quality, because at the end of the day, for you women out there who deal with, that's right, girl, that's right, they do be talking about our dark skin or our hair being curly or we're being plus size or whatever the terminology is. Let me ask you this question, because I asked B this a while back about an artist who she said she just had like, oh, I can't stand his thought process. And then I asked her this, and I asked you ladies out there in the world, the people who you are having this disdain attitude for, would you really want to date them? Would you really want them looking at you? Would you even pay attention to them if you were like in pursuit of a relationship or even friendship? The people who have these low-level mindsets or these low-level perceptions of what beauty is or what brings the notoriety to the young lady or the notoriety to the man, would you really want these people in general? Like, just stripping away everything else, just looking at pure character. At the end of the day, if you wouldn't deal with these people, even if you had all the qualities of what they talking about you have to have in order for you to get the eyes on you or the notoriety, because we keep saying that, then why are you worried about what they're saying now? And I get it, it's a lot of pressure or whatnot on both sides. Like I said, with men, it's always finances. There are women out there that will not look at you twice. Rick Ross know that. Like, well, I'm only saying his name because we know it, but Rick knew that. I mean, he knew first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the girl. Like I said this in a previous podcast months ago, but that's how we grew up in terms of America, I'll say. I can't say that for every country in the world, but I can't say that for here. But I ask the same question for men. If you knew that and all her beauty was only dealing with you a monetary gain, why would you even waste your time trying to get at her? If you can't get them when you broke, and that don't mean broke as in your mindset, that just mean like your money haven't caught up with your mindset yet. You wouldn't want that type of character around you. That's why I keep saying, let's strip away the physical stuff. We're tying in the physical, but I'm sure you have a different angle you're going to stretch this notoriety thing, because social media has a whole nother entity going on with notoriety and numbers and shit, because I deal with it all the time. And I'm sure it's some other music artists, some influencers, business owners, very talented business owners, sharp minds. And because they don't have a K behind their number and on their username, nobody will pay attention to their product. But that product may heal you from fucking cancer. But because they don't have 200,000 followers, they ain't got comments up the wazoo, you ain't giving them a time of day. Like, it's just ridiculous. So it's not just physical. Now it's starting to go into the electrical notoriety or the platforms. So it's all tying back into, like you said, your first topic, which is quality. People are looking at all the numbers that people have, but they're not really looking at the quality of the product that the people are presenting. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You really, in your heart of hearts, I will believe that every human being wants something that's going to make them better. But for some sick reason, we are attracted to the numbers. And the numbers ties into everything. We can tie it into the attraction of women. Guess what? If these women who were, let's call them the IG models, right? They only have these numbers. Why? Because the masses think that that's what's attractive. But if those numbers stayed at the same quantity level as a quality woman who may not look like that or is shaped like that, would they really do all the shit that they're doing? They're only doing it because the numbers are there. Same thing with bad content. Bad content would not be put out into the universe or the social media world if the numbers wasn't there. So it all ties into the quality. Somebody having great quality, great content, great products, whoever it is out there. I'm not just speaking for me or any other entity out there that has my name tied to it. This is for whoever is dealing with this same situation when they like, dude, I'm not trying to judge nobody, but damn, like on some real shit, like I know what I'm presenting over here is way better than that, but yet it's more eyeballs over there. It's the same thing. It's almost like that's the attractive thing. So you just have to fix your mind on, will I care or do I desire to have those people who are paying attention to that over there in my camp? You really want super fans. I don't care what it is. You just want somebody that really vibes with you. So the notoriety shouldn't really matter as much in that aspect.
I love that this is our point of view, our thoughts, and all that. So, yeah, I agree with a lot of the things you said about the hair and stuff like that. The world we live in, make sure you don't base your happiness on their definition of success or the world's definition of happiness. So Lou usually gives us like a inspirational quote, poem, something. I look forward to those. But I was thinking on the back end, just some encounters I've had in the stores over the past couple of days and just people. Let's just make it a point to be kind to others, even after this pandemic. And also make it your responsibility to not do dumb shit. I'm not going to elaborate on that. You know, if it's some dumb shit, just think about if somebody was doing some dumb shit to you, you'd be able to identify right away. That's some dumb shit. So don't do it. Be kind. and don't do dumb shit. And that is all. Unless you want to keep this conversation going. And if you want to do that, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggested topics, you can always shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of the latest one on our Instagram at realfitradio. And there are tons of other snippets there as well of previous podcasts. So you can kind of binge or maybe go pick what you want to hear about. What we're talking about today may not be something that you're interested in, but we got a lot of content there. So check us out. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.